Hello, Reject Nation. I am G. Alba.
I am J. Hump.
We are going to talk about some movie news that is sweeping the Twitter sphere at the moment. It's about Jimmy Gunn.
He just got fired from Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Over some weird-ass tweets.
Weird tweets.
Yeah.
Can you believe this?
Gosh, guys. I don't know if you know about this. O.J. Simpson may have killed his ex-wife.
He may have killed his ex-wife. We don't know for sure. What we do know is that he got that merchandise back, and now he's in prison.
Oh, jeez. James Gunn, news. Before we get into that, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been joining us on our Patreon page, yo. Over there, we do TV show reactions for many shows. That includes Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Gotham, Riverdale, and Supernatural. Also, weekly Q&As, so go check us out if you'd like to. Shameful plugs. Onto the movie news here. This is coming from The Wrap, and to quote them, "Holy poach! Batman," sorry, messed up that delivery.
You're great, Robin, don't worry.
Yeah. Jamie Gunn is in talks to write for Suicide Squad 2 with possibly directing Suicide Squad 2. Supposedly this is going to be something that's a very much different, which is a good thing, I think. You know, Suicide Squad has its limited fan base. Let's lead with this as if this is potentially true. Otherwise, this is a waste of time. And for all we know, this could be a waste of time. If James Gunn is to write and or direct Suicide Squad 2, first of all, good ballsy move there to Warner Brothers, according to what everyone on Twitter's saying.
I mean, it's a gutsy move for sure, and it definitely drives a wedge in that Marvel versus DC vibe, you know?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's a gutsy move, but it's also not a surprising move. I guess I thought, like, they would eventually recruit him for something that was not an established property. However, Suicide Squad, I think that if they were to use the kind of style James Gunn can provide, would be a wonderful transition. If we're talking about just what James Gunn is known to provide, I think that's a smart transition because the first Suicide Squad is a pretty kinetic film. It's got some like weird comedy in there and some misplaced darkness that doesn't really feel dark. It's a strange kind of mashup of a movie, but we're not here to review the first Suicide Squad. James Gunn is known to kind of deal with those elements, but in a smoother style, in a smoother fashion, something that really works and clicks and connects. That's why I think he would be a good transitional choice for Suicide Squad 2. As much as I like to see him take on a different property and essentially turn that into Guardians of the Galaxy, working with kind of an established cast, maybe introducing some new squad members, highlighting some other ones, I think this could be a really good fit. I would especially be excited, and I doubt this would happen, and I'm speaking strongly for some reason, if this was R-rated. Because James Gunn comes from an R-rated background, you know? Hence those tweets that used to come in.
Yes, exactly. I mean, he comes from a harder than R-rated background, to be honest with you.
The movies I grew up watching of James Gunn were films like Super and Slither, you know, like very hard R
Romeo and
films.
Juliet?
Yeah, see? Everyone kind of wanted an R-rated Suicide Squad to begin with.
I feel like that dam is going to break at some point before too much longer because especially on the heels of the Venom argument and stuff like that, I feel like R-rated superheroes, especially these kinds where they're very villain-centric, could definitely see the light of day more often now, and James Gunn would be the guy for something like that.
Yeah, and I feel like DC, and they might have someone there who's smart enough to learn that just because a prior installment made a crap ton of money doesn't mean you should stick to that. Hence the transition from BVS to Justice League, because BVS made a lot of money, and then Justice League didn't even come close to making that much money. Maybe the first Suicide Squad made $750 million, you know, which is great, but you got to pay attention to the response the movie had. And I really do think that James Gunn, great choice for that, for what he can do. Ballsy move. You know, you got to raise the competition. Say, we love competition, man.
Well, and that'll make some money regardless of the movie because people will be so fascinated by the fact that it's James Gunn and everyone losing their minds over James Gunn. Like,
everyone's losing their mind.
Well, then everyone loses their minds.
But I gotta imagine just even despite whatever the film turns out to be, people will show up just based on that alone. alone, you know?
Oh yeah, I would.
It definitely fits his sensibility, kind of 100%. The only thing I would be concerned about is I feel like they did successfully cast the first movie. I feel like the first movie has a lot of great actors I would love to see get a second shake at a better version of the source material. So I guess I would be kind of bummed to see them recast. And I know a lot of people have been like spouting off rumors about like, oh, is like Batista gonna come in and play like Solomon Grundy or something like that, you know? So are we gonna get like all the Guardians cast playing all the Suicide Squad people now?
I don't think Gunn would go that far. Because I think the last thing he's gonna want to do
is remind everybody.
And also just, give a middle finger to Marvel in such a public sphere. I feel like it's a ballsy move on the Warner Brothers side, but I don't feel like it's a disrespectful move on James Gunn's side, if that makes sense. I don't view this as James Gunn's like going toe to toe with Marvel here. I'm like, he needs work, man.
Yeah. And he's going to another place that is suited to him.
And DC's kind of in figuring out, like they're still in their figuring out stage, and their plans are constantly shifting here and there. Who the hell knows if this is even going to happen, honestly.
Yeah, true that.
This is a rumor. We don't know for sure. Even if they are really talking, it could just be them talking.
At best,
yeah,
like
it's like, yeah, they have a lot of talks with a lot of people, so they're not in a negotiations side here. I'm sure it's just a talk at most of, hey, you interested?
And what would your take be? What would you want to do with this?
Yeah. And I feel like James Gunn's the kind of guy who would only take on a job behind the camera if he's passionate about it. Is he going to be passionate about Suicide Squad, doing a giant course correction of a film,
It's a lot of pressure for sure.
It's a lot of pressure, but I'm sure whatever he can deliver will arguably be better. It's more his territory than it was David Ayer.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like, given the track record WB has established with wanting to do creator or director helmed superhero movies and then kind of constantly going back on that decision and tampering with that decision, I feel like James Gunn is a choice where, you would have a guy confident enough in this arena that I don't think they would need to do that. It's like having James Wan as a guy where you're like, this dude's a solid enough filmmaker to where I gotta imagine he's not going to be too challenging to what we need from him, but at the same time, he's going to bring a lot of personality. And I feel like James Gunn can do that in a way that David Ayer might not have been able to because Suicide Squad was such an out-of-the-box thing for his particular career. Fingers crossed, but I feel like we could just get a unified movie from a guy like James Gunn who does have like enough clout to be like, Marvel rested a whole bunch of faith in me before a bunch of random stuff came back to light, so maybe you should listen to what I have to say. If recuts and stuff become an issue.
All right, guys, well, before we end this video, I wanted to give a patron of the day shout out to a man named Joe Bryzek. Joe Bryzek is a sexy man all the way from Chicago. 2 weeks ago, he just had, I believe, his 17th birthday.
You don't look a day over 10.
I might be 14 years off on there because he's actually 3.
He's even younger. This is even less appropriate.
I don't understand how he did that. Joe, he just hit the big 31. I want you to know that if you're having a midlife crisis, it's totally okay, and you should be having a midlife crisis, my friend. Life is scary, and if you're 31 and you are not where you really imagine you would be, you need to get your shit together, dude. It's a tough world out there, man. It's a tough world. Life does not tend to those who want. It tends to those who deserve, so you better get your ass off the couch and increase your pledge on Patreon. Because that's the way you really get what you want, by helping the real rejects out even more.
That's the only way. Just keep funneling it in through here and...
I like to gaslight the Patreon ejects.
Oh, that's smart.
Guilt trip them, especially Joe.
Yeah, neg them so that they really feel like terrible about themselves.
And
they feel like they need to get value by giving money.
Exactly, yeah. So Joe, if you want to overcome that insecurity of your age,
this is the way.
This is the way. Nah, dude. I hope you had a great birthday. We've talked before, and he works in the medical field. He's already helping people out, so I'm sure you're living a very fulfilling life. Love you, buddy. I know you went to Disneyland or something, I forget, on your birthday. I'm going off memory here. I hope that this next year is even better than the last year. All right, guys. Well, what do you think about James Gunn potentially writing and or directing Suicide Squad 2? Do you think that we should cast Louis C.K. as one of the Suicide Squad members since he can still work? Or maybe Mel Gibson
Yeah.
as one of the people in the movie.
Get them all.
Get them all.
Oh, that's the dream, is a Gunn script, Mel Gibson directing. There you go.
There you go. Oh,
Perfect
man.
Suicide Squad. We're getting a whole bunch of people together who aren't desirable in Hollywood to make this movie. So we're some kind of Suicide Squad.
All right, guys. Well, you can subscribe to the Reject Nation. Click that notification bell to get notified whenever you know the drill. And check us out on Patreon. Bye-bye.